Welcome back. We're here to preview Sunday's big game in the Premier League between Liverpool and Arsenal. Matt, let's start with the home side. A really disappointing loss to their big rivals last weekend.
Yeah, it was really disappointing for them, wasn't it? The club as a whole, the team, obviously Brendan Rodgers under a bit of pressure to lose 3-0 at Manchester United, who were not in, obviously they've been in good form in terms of results, but not playing particularly well. The game was quite strange. There was a lot of chances. It was Sterling obviously up front, had a few one-on-ones. We had quite a few one-on-ones with De Gea. That was sort of the sideshow. De Gea made some great saves. On another day, that could probably end. I think United deserved to win, but 3-0 was quite a comprehensive score, and I think on another day possibly 2-1, 3-1 would have been a fair score. But I think obviously it was a disappointing result. But going forward, in terms of performance levels, I think they can take a little bit more than that they could have taken a couple of weeks ago.
Definitely, it was a really bad week, wasn't it? Because obviously in the league before that they drew 0-0 with Sunderland at home, and then the 1-1 draw at home again to Basel, which knocked them out of the Champions League. And obviously then to go and lose 3-0 to United, that was a terrible week for them as a club. But since then they've been in the Capital One Cup quarter-finals, beat Bournemouth 3-1. You know, good result. Obviously they've gone on to draw Chelsea, the worst draw they could have got in that. But you know, the performance against Bournemouth, it was quite a good one. I thought, you know, Bournemouth top of the Championship, it was always going to be a really difficult game. But both Chelsea and Liverpool in their games, because Derby obviously really flying high in the Championship as well, they both came through those tests. And I was surprised Bournemouth, you know, they made 6 changes. I was surprised Eddie Howe rested so many players, because I thought Bournemouth could have gone into that. They'd won 5-3 at the weekend, played really well against Cardiff at the weekend, and you know, he rested some really key players there, and I thought he might have just gone for it a bit more. And in the end, it didn't pay off. So obviously, Liverpool's quality told in the end. Obviously, Sterling started up front again, a couple of good finishes from him, and yeah, I think it was a really big win to sort of build their confidence again.
When you mentioned Sterling through the middle again, obviously he scored twice, was dangerous against United. I think obviously they've got Lambert there. I don't think Rodgers is too sure, is he? I mean, I said at the beginning of the season, I don't think Lambert was a great sign for Liverpool. Barini's fallen off the face of the earth. He's obviously going to leave in January, but players coming back, Sturridge is a big blow for them. Obviously Suarez going as well, everyone knows about that. To lose Sturridge as well, who was so good last season, if they can get him back fit, I mean, he's going over, was it the best Boston Red Sox, or he's going over to try and get fit with them. So if he can come back fit, Balotelli as well. In fairness to Balotelli against United, on another day, a few of those goes in, he looked dangerous. And if they can get those two players back in tandem in the team, Sterling wide, then I think there's positives for Liverpool rather than the doom and gloom there's been.
Yeah, definitely. And I think they come up against an Arsenal side here who are in really good confidence at the moment. Obviously, 2 4-1 wins in a row against Galatasaray in the Champions League, and then last weekend in the Premier League against Newcastle. That was a pretty impressive performance. I don't think it was their best display at home, but we all know Arsenal at the Emirates, they can be quite nervy. Sometimes they've had some really poor results just, you know, in the last few seasons where you expect them to beat some teams and they sort of just capitulate. But yeah, 4-1 against a Newcastle side who have been in decent form. We know they're in the top half now, doing well, Newcastle. And obviously 2 players with 2 goals, Giroud and Cazorla, who, you know, they were probably really good, you know, maybe a season and a half ago. Obviously Cazorla last season, he wasn't as good last season. Giroud, you know, struggled with injuries, missed a lot of this season, but he's coming back in the team and looking really good. Obviously, once Welbeck, you know, they signed Welbeck, he looked really good, and you wondered if Giroud would be able to get back in the team, but it looks like Wenger's maybe going to try and play them both, which would be quite interesting. Welbeck, you know, going out wide like he does for England sometimes. So I think at the moment Arsenal do look quite good. Obviously, it's great for Cazorla to be on form, because without, you know, Ramsey's injured, Wilshere as well, Ozil in those positions. So yeah, I think it was a really good display from them.
Yeah, I mean, really looking overall, I mean, they've got a lot of disgruntled fans, haven't they, there with their Premier League position. It's not been great. Last season, they were sort of this stage of season, they were flying high near the top of the table. It's not been that case this time around, but they are only 2 points off the top 4. They've won 5 of their last 6. The only defeat was against Manchester United, which was a strange game, wasn't it? They probably should have won that game, certainly not lost that game, but like I say, last time out against Newcastle to win 4-1. And as it stands, if they think they go and beat Liverpool, they'll probably someone around there will drop points. They can get back in the top 4. I think they're still favourites to finish in the top 4. Because you look at, obviously, Wenger's record, you know, over the last, how many seasons it is, 16, 17, but if they can get players back fit, players like Walcott, etc., you mentioned Ozil, players like that, they can get them all in the team, and they've got Giroud coming back well, but I think they've got enough to get in the top 4 overall.
Definitely. So what's your score prediction for this game?
It's going to be a tight game. It always is, sort of thing. I mean, I wouldn't say it always is. Last season, there was, between these two, there was some big scores, wasn't there? But to be honest, I'm going to have to sit on the fence for this. I couldn't see it being a draw. I think 1-1. I
think I'm just going to back Arsenal. I think at the moment, Liverpool, they don't look quite confident enough. If Balotelli can't make it and Sterling leads the line again, you know, against Arsenal, we've got decent defence. I wonder if he might struggle a bit. So I'm just going to back Arsenal to win 2-1. So Matt's going for a draw. I'm going for 2-1. Thanks for watching.